What's up everyone, this is Tony with Fun Intelligent Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about posterior chain control. What is your posterior chain? It's a group of muscles in the back half of your body that's included in a lot of important movements, particularly pulling movements. Now the posterior chain gets worked quite a bit in a very common exercise called the straight-legged deadlift. You might also hear this exercise called the stiff-legged dead, Romanian dead, kettlebell deadlift. There's a lot of different names for it. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to demonstrate an exercise you can do to help create a little bit more central nervous system control over your posterior chain. Now think of this as like flaring your nostrils. Everyone has the ability to do so from a muscular standpoint, but not everyone knows how to tell their muscles to perform that motion. So what I'm going to do today is show you a drill that's going to help build control in the thoracic and lumbar spine and help improve your form on a very common movement, which is the straight-legged deadlift. Now the straight-legged deadlift is performed with your feet about hip width apart, toes pointed straight ahead, a slight bend of the knees, and from there you essentially just bend at the waist. Now a lot of people get it in their mind that the goal is to get the weight as close to the floor as possible. If they are lacking a bit of hamstring and hip flexibility, they are going to let their torso crumble, in other words, let their thoracic and lumbar spine relax to get a little bit more range of motion, to get that weight a little bit closer to the floor. That's not the goal. The goal is to just have the person or yourself work through the range of motion as much as they can, go as deep as they can in the movement. Of course, people are going to be limited by their flexibility. So what I'm talking about is you'll be standing here and you'll see people, they'll bend forward and they'll get to the point where they start to feel some tightness in their glutes and their hamstrings, and then they'll let their back round to get a little bit more range of motion. Now, the way to start with the straight-legged deadlift, I mentioned feet hip width apart, toes pointed straight ahead. I tell people proud chest or marching band chest. Take a big breath in, puff the chest out. You feel that nice curve in the lower back. That's what you want, that flat lower back there. And my knees are unlocked. I'm going to bend forward. And you can see my back stays nice and flat. Now, if you have people that are doing this, what I want you to do is have them stand next to a mirror, standing sideways so they can see themselves in the profile, and have them maintain this position, and then simply have them push their hips back. And what I usually tell people is act like you're trying to get someone's attention. So push the hips back, and you can see that immediately flattens out my mid and lower back. Now one thing to pay attention to is you don't want to let the core sag, okay? So I'm not going to relax my core. It's very easy to let that happen, but I want to keep my belly button pulled in towards my spine, okay? So just have them work through this. Rounding the back, and then pushing the butt out. Rounding, pushing out. And that'll help them develop the control needed to maintain this posture without really thinking about it too much. Because when you first start people out, or if you're early on in your training, it might not be a natural thing for you to automatically just go into the correct positions. You really have to think about what you're doing. But we're not just going to worry about the lower back and mid back. We also want to worry about our shoulders. And again, if we're holding weight, you know, it's going to create a tendency to round the shoulders as well. So in this position, you can also work scapular retraction. Okay, so I'm going to round, let my shoulders round forward along with the rest of my back, and then push the hips out and pull my shoulders back into the correct position. Now, back rounding is an issue in a number of different exercises. I highly suggest training that rounding and flattening drill from a deadlift type position where the legs are straight. It's very difficult for people to get the hang of that in a squatted position, so that would be a more advanced step in doing so. Work with the straight-legged deadlift first, then move on to the squat. Now this is a really important position to be in with the flat thoracic and lumbar spine, because it's a position that you use, as I mentioned, in the deadlift, in the squat, and also the starting position for, say, like a clean or a snatch. So there's a lot of different movements where having a nice flat back is very, very important. And this goes for one-legged deadlifting, unilateral deadlifting. There's a lot of different variations. So try that out at home on yourself, or try it with some of your clients. Post up comments, let me know what you think. Again, this is Tony with Fun Intelligent Training. Check us out on our website, funintelligenttraining.com, and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/funintelligenttraining.